Welcome to the Real View podcast, where Ohio Realtors connect you to innovators and influencers, keeping you with the real view of real estate. Whether you're a broker, agent, first-time homebuyer, industry leader, or just happen to stumble upon our podcast today, you can expect to hear tips, tools, tricks, interesting information, and so much more from the experts in Ohio's real estate game. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Real View podcast. I'm your host, Allison Wiley. With me is my co-host, Carrie Arblaster. Joining us today, we have two very special guests, Jessica Smith, who is the Associate Director of Sales and Technology Services with the Florida Realtors, and Alex Barnett, who is the technician guru, all things with our Tech Helpline. He is the guy who is there to walk you through your many tech problems with our Tech Helpline. And they are going to dive into what the Tech Helpline is, how it's a benefit to you all, and as well with some tech trends that they're experiencing and seeing right now in the real estate industry. So thank you both for joining me today. We are so happy to have you.
Hello, it's great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Well, as you guys know, we do have a standard question that we like to ask all of our guests. The podcast is The Real View, and what we like to know from you is what is the best view that you have ever had? So we're going to start with Jessica. Jessica, what is the best view that you've ever seen?
This one's hard for me. I've seen some really good views, and when I pick places to travel to, I pick my Airbnb or hotel based on the view. And I've seen things in Newfoundland and Thailand and Maui and in the forest of outside of Vancouver. I've been to some really cool places, but this might sound so cheesy. My favorite view is my backyard, and it's because we have thriving gardens. I have 4 hens, and I just love to look out and see all of the vegetables that I'm growing and my hens and my dog and cats in the clover and just jumping around and having fun. And, you know, even when I'm traveling to these awesome places, that is the view that I always think about. So that is my favorite view. Yeah.
I love that. That's fantastic. I also love your travel list. So that's great. We'll have to get together post-podcast so I can start mapping mine out. Alex, what about you? What's the best view that you've ever had?
Let's see. I had many. Coming from a military background, so we moved a lot. Honestly, I don't think you guys may love the view just because you get snow all the time. Florida, we don't see any snow. If so, it's probably in my refrigerator. But I would have to say when we were stationed in Alaska, I think Mount McKinley was like, or Mount McKinley or Denora, either one, Denali. I think that was probably the best view. It was like 10 years ago, but I loved it. Snowboarding, skiing, all of those things I miss. So I think that's probably my best view, just the glaciers and everything.
I do not get sick of snow. I'm lamenting the onset of summer. I was cursing as I was walking my dog this morning because it was already 80 degrees. I am not a fan. So that is a great view. And thank you so much for your service in the military. That's nice to know a little bit about your background.
Yeah, Alex, I got to talk to you about Alaska. That sounds really cool. That's one place I've never been, and it's on my list. So after the podcast, let's talk. Yeah.
It sounds beautiful, Alaska. I mean, that's definitely one on the bucket list. Very far and hard to get to, but
yes.
I'm sure it's worth it once you get there, for sure.
Definitely.
Well, before we dive into the topic at hand, let's just do a quick couple minutes with each of you about your backgrounds and how you ended up where you are. Alex, you gave us a sneak peek about where you came from. So we'll go back to Jessica. Jessica, how did you get to be with the Florida Realtors? And, what's your background, sales, marketing?
So it was kind of a serendipitous how I joined the team about 9 years ago. I was looking for a new position. I was kind of like putting it out there to the universe that I wanted something new in sales and customer service. And an old friend of mine literally called me out of the blue and offered me this position with Florida Realtors. So I've been here for about 9 years, and I just love it so much. Not only is Florida Realtors just such a wonderful environment to thrive and be yourself, but I just like what I do. I am, as you said, Associate Director of Sales for both Form Simplicity and Tech Helpline. So I get to rep 2 products, which is really wonderful. And I just love talking to people. I love serving our members and members across North America. And being in technology sort of was intimidating at first because I'm not the techie person, but I've kind of grown to be my own tech guru, and I can actually figure things out way more than, I think I give myself credit for. But I just love it. I love our team. You know, all of our techs, like Alex, are just super cool and kind people. So like, it's just nice to be with a group of people you really enjoy working with. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's great. Thank you. Alex, how about you? How did you turn into a tech guru helping realtors navigate their days?
Where to start? I think it was more my parents. They believed in mass punishment. I'm the oldest of four. So my brothers and sisters would always break things on a computer or something technical would go wrong. And so I had to fix it before we're all grounded or I can't go out that weekend or something of that nature. So that, and on part of when I was in college, my parents just called all the time to fix something. So I was like, if my parents are having these issues and they're not older, they're pretty young, I know other people are having these issues. So I was like, it's money to be made. And actually, I'm learning something. It evolves. It changes every year. So I just felt like, hey, why don't you try it? Give it a shot. And then ever since then, I've been in love with it. I love Apple. I think that's how I got started with the Tech Helpline. I started about 5 years ago. And when I started, as all you realtors know, the common question you guys ask is, hey, is Max compatible with the MLS or is it compatible with this particular software? So they were looking for a Mac technician, and I'm the guy. So I may have talking to some of you guys already, but I'm telling you, Max works, and I just love my job. I like chess, so X's and O's and figuring out problems. That's something I can do. So that's how I got started with Tech Helpline.
That's very cool. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So how long were you? I just want to know, how long were you in the military and what branch?
Oh, no. So not me. My mom and dad were in the branch. So my mom's in the Air Force. My dad's in the Army. My dad retired 4 years ago. My mom retired 6 years ago, and about 20 for him and 15 for her. So it was most of my childhood. I felt like I was in the military. I was like, I have to get away. This is not for me. But my younger brothers, they're in the military. I was like, Mom and Dad, you guys kind of pushed that off of me. So they're in the services. So I would definitely relay the message and tell them that you guys said thanks. So
absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the Tech Helpline. This is a tool that Ohio Realtors added to our toolbox probably 2 years ago, because it came in under President Chris Reese. This was one of her goals for the year. So Jessica, if you could, just because not all of our listeners may know what that is, if you could just give us the rundown on what the Tech Helpline is, where it's nested within the association, and who you serve.
Tech Helpline is just what it sounds like. It's an inbound call center for realtors that are having technology issues. It has been around since 2001. It started just as a member benefit for Florida Realtors members. It is still owned and operated by Florida Realtors. And as other associations caught wind of what we were doing and how much we were helping our members, they were interested in it for their own. So now, in 2021, we serve over 650,000 realtors across North America, always adding new states, new local associations, and even new brokerages. And the team is all employees of Florida Realtors. They all are in our office in Orlando, Florida, in 2020, working from home also, but they're in Orlando and they just love helping people. So basically the way it works is a member that is with an association that has contracted with us will call our Tech Helpline team, identify whatever their issue is, and then the tech will just walk them through the solution. And it's pretty cool too. I mean, the tech can be as on hand as the member wants. So many realtors are really, really busy people. So often they'll just want the issue addressed and fixed, and we can even remote into their system, and a tech like Alex can just go in there and do their magic and go ahead and fix the situation while the realtor handles their business and goes on with their day. Or if the realtor would like to learn more, we can go ahead and give them some more educational background of how that works. But it's super straightforward. If you are a Ohio Realtor member, you can find all of the information about this on the Ohio Realtors website. They can reach us you can reach us by phone, email, or chat 6 days a week. And they really help with any technology issue. I know we do have certain programs, hardware and software that we advertise that we help with, but if you call and you're having issue with like your electric garage door opener, I guarantee you a tech is going to try to solve that issue because as Alex alluded to earlier, I mean, they like to solve problems. So like the thicker the problem, the more intense, the harder the chess game, like they are definitely going to do their hardest to address that issue. So yeah, that's how it works. It's super straightforward and easy. If you can't figure something out, like a setting on your Apple Watch, or if your computer's running kind of slow, or if you can't figure out a setting on your camera, digital camera, or if you don't know what a Twitter handle is, I mean, you can just call and they're going to like walk you through setting up that Facebook page, all of those things. So it's super valuable because even if you are a techie person, there's always something out there that's changing that you probably need help with.
That's great. And this is something that's available to realtors at all levels, right? So the local board, you said, the local association,
Absolutely.
The state association, are like MLS companies allowed to request your services as well? So it's just really anyone within the realtor world?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Carrie. Yeah, absolutely. So it's offered either at a state, local, MLS level. Brokerages also can offer it to their agents. And yeah, currently we are in the realtor world, but we have started to expand a little bit. We have garnered interest from other associations and things like that because really everybody needs technology help. And while we're used to what the realtors are going through on a daily basis, really tech help can be applied to any industry out there.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same. I'm like, this is such a great idea. I can see it like really blowing up and being valuable to more than just the Realtor Association. And what's so great about this too is for our Realtor members is this is free. So if you are a member of Ohio Realtors, this is your member benefit for being a part of Ohio Realtors is you have access to this at no cost to you, which I think is amazing because I mean, anywhere else you'll go, I mean, I'm sure there would be a cost associated with a service like this. So that's the cool part about this too, is anything that's free and is such a good service and a good value, like what you've explained, I think just makes it, that much better. And there's some really cool things. I mean, you mentioned just a garage door opener, like, because when you think of tech trends, you think, okay, internet problems, Wi-Fi, like that kind of stuff. But I mean, there's so much more that you guys do that our members may not be aware of. I know we just recently put up an article on our website about some other things that may not be as well known as what you would normally think of when you think of a tech helpline. Like you mentioned social media guidance and posting ads on Craigslist and format issues and PDFs and installing an Alexa in your home and getting your iTunes library and Spotify play. I mean, talk about some of the things that may not be as commonly known. And even Alex, too, that you've got calls from that may have been different than what you usually would get calls about.
Okay. Everyone knows with the pandemic and COVID, so a lot of members are working at home. So it's a lot of questions they have they don't know the answer to or are just unsure about. One of the common things people call about is virtual meetings. Either the camera's not working or the microphone's not working. I kid you not, a common problem that a lot of members call and spend 2 or 3 hours trying to fix themselves. You can call us and we can help you set the camera up. But the issue that a lot of members have is they're using a desktop. So when using a desktop, they're thinking it comes with a camera. So they're wondering why in the virtual meeting no one can see them. Well, I always ask, hey, is it a laptop or a desktop? And if it's a desktop, is it an all-in-one or a tower? And they'll tell me it's a tower, and next thing you know, I'm like, hey, ma'am or sir, it doesn't come with a camera, so that's why they're not going to see you. You can see them because they have a camera, but they won't see you because you don't have a camera. And so we'll tell them, and this is where a lot of members make the mistake, and it's not a mistake, but I kid you not, it's something that can help you guys out. Call us, and instead of buying a whole new computer because it doesn't have a camera, we can tell you which webcam to buy, which is $25 compared to $700. And you just saved yourself money. You also got the issue fixed, and now you're moving on with your day. Another thing that a lot of people call about that is unusual is scan to email. I know everyone's accustomed to when they're in their office, they hit a button on the printer, it scans, and it goes to their email. When they're at home, they're not sure how to set it up or where to put the email or where is it going. So we help them setting it up. And also, we assign the email that they would like to send it from. Like Jessica said, if there's anything you guys have any questions about, call. You can call about something, fixing a car. You can call us. We can tell you, hey, we can't fix it, but it's a question not asked. It's not going to get an answer. So call us and we can assist you with whatever it is. And if you may even get me, and I know it's several of us that like actually we deal with those problems, like a garage opener. I kid you not, people setting up their Apple playlists in their car. We will help you set things up. You know, we will try, and if not, we will get you in the right direction. That's like, I think our main goal. Like I feel like me, especially with customer service, you don't want to hear what we cannot do. I would tell you what we can do. So if I tell you, hey, I cannot do this, but I can tell you who can, that's better than turning you away. So a couple more issues. Remember, has printers, antivirus, especially nowadays with COVID, everyone's trying to send you an email. And we get the call every day, and I hear it when I say, hey, welcome to the Tech Helpline. This is Allison. How may I help you? I hear some machine in the background talking, saying, hey, if you don't give us this amount of money, the first question I ask is, did you call that number? And it's like, oh, no, I didn't. I called you guys. Okay, then we're great. We're awesome. You didn't allow anyone to come on. The issue can be rectified, and we can get you going and set up an antivirus. A lot of members
Scammers are intense. There are so many scams out there.
Gosh,
it is just an epidemic.
Yes, the scam emails that even we receive at Ohio Realtors.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it seems
look
like
legit.
every other week. Every other week, there's another. Our IT guys like ignore the scam email, or we're having to prepare communication to our members. Another scam went out. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. A lot of members call, and I kid you not, one member called and stated that, hey, they're saying I made this purchase with my Apple device, and I don't know what my Apple ID is. And I asked them, okay, do you own an Apple device? And they're like, no, I don't. I was like, that's a scam, ma'am. So that card they're showing, that's not even your card, and that's not your email address. So we assist with a lot of issues. Like, if you're not sure what we assist with, like Jessica said, you can call us, and we can tell you what we assist you with. Slow machines. I think that's one of the biggest reasons we get calls. Some members don't restart their computers over 120 days. It doesn't have updates. And I know, at least every realtor I've spoken to, you guys are on the go. I don't think there's never a time that you're not busy. I think even after hours, you guys, I don't even think it's after hours apply to you guys. But no, slow machines. We assist with speeding those things up. Slow machines, like she said, cameras, phones, Apple Watches. I can go on and on. Even smart TVs. I think we get that a lot now. As far as casting from the computer to a TV.
Yes.
But I think one of the common issues is Outlook. I think every member, I think out of 10 of your members, probably 9 of them have Outlook. So they're wondering, how can I set up a rule or a signature? That's common. You know, they want to put the picture, the tagline, and so forth. So we assist with any of those issues. Those are calls that we get commonly, but for the most part, I think we do a good job. I don't think we do a good job. I'm pretty sure we do a good job. You know, at least... You know, try to go above and beyond. And you like, I don't know if Jessica went over it with you guys. Even if you call, and if it's not as busy, you may call and we can answer 2 or 3 questions on the phone. So like, let's say you have one answer like with a printer and the next answer is with a computer. We can assist you with those depending on the time. So, and they don't take long. The hold times aren't as high, if any. But for the most part, we're here to help you. We're here to make sure your day is easier than it started.
And it sounds like you do, yeah.
I think like a lot of times, you know, you may not know what you're calling about. And so you may just want to call. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm using this as an example. So I just initiated Google Voice on my phone, and I have like some smart light bulbs in my house. So now I can be like, okay, Google, turn on the den light. And it's like, boom. And I'm like, why didn't I use this technology like 3 months ago or a year ago or 2 years ago? And so like, if I were to call Alex, I could just be like, hey, Alex, like what technology is out there that might make my life a little bit easier? And like, Alex will legitimately sit there with you and talk through what you do, what your day's like, to get to know what you're going through, to help give you some recommendations on what's out there that you may not even know about. And I think that's a lot of this. Like we were talking about, you know, ever-changing tech. There's a lot of things out there that can make our lives easier on a daily basis, but it feels really overwhelming and just intimidating to try to take that on, you know? So, right, Alex?
Yeah, you're definitely correct. I kid you not. I spent many of hours in someone's Amazon shopping cart because they're asking me, hey, what should I get? Well, let's go shop together. These are the items I would suggest. And these are the items, whichever's in your pay range, that will work for you. So we have no issue. And then even when we suggest something, as far as a camera or a printer or something, I would tell them, hey, once you get it, call and ask for me, and I can help you set it up. Just to finish, to make sure I got the issue resolved and it's not another hiccup and passing it off. So like Jessica's saying, some people don't know the question asked. They'll call and say, hey, something's popping up on my screen. I'm not sure why it's popping up. Oh, well, ma'am, it's telling you that you might want to do this update or you're not going to be able to use Chrome. And then I'm like, oh, well, that's why your Chrome's not working. And then we do the update and then I find other problems and then we fix them. So I feel like every technician you speak to, if they see a problem on your computer as they're fixing one issue, they would address you as far as telling you this is what needs to be done. If you have time, I can fix it now, or you can call back at a later time to fix the issue.
This episode of The Real View is brought to you by the Ohio Association of Community Colleges. Ohio's network of community colleges provides accessible training that accommodates the busy lifestyles of aspiring real estate professionals at half the price of a traditional university. With convenient locations in every part of the state, as well as online options, Ohio's community colleges are your smart choice for pre-licensing education. For more details or to start the journey to a real estate career, visit the education page at ohiorealtors.org and then click on the pre-license course locations. It sounds like it's so much more than just what you would think of when you hear of a normal. Like, I love that you're helping people, buy Amazon products for. So what are some of the other, like Jessica mentioned, some of the other tools or technology out there that you would recommend for realtors? Maybe something that our members aren't aware of yet, or something that just came out. What are some examples of stuff that our members might be interested in?
Oh, so such as like the new computers that are out, like the Surface Pros that I know some members may have, but there's as a realtor, you guys do a lot of signing as far as needing contracts to be signed. You don't want to carry the heavy duty computers or the 17-inch laptop. You just want to have a little flip over tablet, which is a computer as well, that can use your MLS and also your office programs, I should say, and have members or clients sign on the tablet using they have this new special pen, which is awesome because no mistakes can be made as far as if you're not writing the area it should be written in, it won't pick up the ink or the digital signature. So that's one thing. Another thing that I think realtors would, storage. I think that's the new thing as far as for realtors. Like, I know you guys have to keep things up to 7 years, I believe, as far as documentations and so forth. But I think storage is the newest thing as far as backing up a machine. Like, I kid you not, at least when I back up my machine, I have 4 kids. And I have 2 cats and a dog. So you know what that means? Something's going to be knocked over, something's going to be misplaced, and now I can't restore that information. So I recommend members like Carbonite, it backs it up to the cloud. Now, this is only if you're comfortable with technology being in the cloud, but I kid you not, there are some people that aren't, like my mother. She still drives and pay her bills and the locations. I'm like, I didn't even know they were open. I just paid online.
My dad does that too. Yeah.
So
my mom is terrified of someone trying to deliver her pizza with a drone. And so like all these Domino's commercials, because the bot's out and my mom is just like, this is just so unnecessary. So I get it.
Oh, mentioning drones. That is one. That is something a lot of realtors are using now because you guys have to have that area view over top. So that's something that a lot of realtors call about and say, hey, I have this drone. I need to set it up. Or I took the pictures. I don't know how to get it off the drone. So things of that nature we assist with as well. So that's one of the new trends that I think a lot of realtors are using.
Good call.
That's a good one.
I'm curious too, Alex, about COVID. I mean, you kind of touched on everyone transition to home and what that looked like. And I'm sure there was a lot to kind of navigate through for that. But I'm curious about a lot of virtual showings. I mean, I think last year was the biggest year that people bought homes without ever setting foot in them. Were you able to did you have a lot of calls about that? And what were some of the, what were some of the recommendations for that? Virtual showings and all that kind of good stuff.
So with virtual showings, so a lot of members aren't sure how to do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, there's a way we can do what you're asking for your MLS to get the virtual tour in a sense. So I was like, hey, if you have your phone or your Android or a camera, some recording device, walk around the household, record it. And what I kid you not, when COVID first started, what I would do is grab the video or extract the video from the device and put it in, like, once we're back to cloud. So Dropbox, Google Drive, iCloud, some type of cloud program, because then a lot of members didn't know how to make a virtual link. And that's where it came down to the virtual tour. So there was like, hey, I have the image on my phone, and normally I can do this, and it goes to the virtual tour. Well, I was like, we can still get the HTTP or the virtual link from adding it to a cloud program, and then we were able to extract that link and put it in the MLS. So virtual tours was a big one. I think it was a big learning curve for everyone. I think even for myself, because there was a lot of videos. As far as that, a lot of members don't know that when you email, that's a big thing. You only can email a certain amount of photos. Some members are trying to email 20 photos or even 50, and I'm like, hey, the email only provides 10 to 15. Biggest size. Videos. That's another thing. Like they're saying, hey, I was able to text a video to one of my realtors, and now I cannot. Why is that? I'm like, well, the realtor you text before probably had an iPhone. You were going to iPhone. That's not a text message. That's called an iMessage. But you're texting someone with a Android, which has a size limit. So then now we have to do what Allison was referring to, is put it in the cloud, and then, of course, put it, I think the newest trend, if you're in stock, what is it? Chat or it's the green app. Everyone uses it. I'm drawing a blank. I have to think. It's a chat one. A lot of realtors use it. I kid you not.
Green app. All I can think about are these plant identifier apps that I have. I am the biggest garden and plant nerd. I'm sorry, not sorry at all. I just am obsessed with plants. So as soon as I hear green, all I think about are plants. All right. Yeah. Sorry. That's all. Little sidebar.
No. Now I'm going to be thinking. I'm going to get back to you guys when I think of it. But it's an app that a lot of realtors use as far as transferring data, videos, pictures, and so forth. So with the virtual tours, I think it was a head scratcher at the beginning, but then after members realized that certain things weren't open like they were before, we have to find a way. Because like you guys have to make money. So we're not going to let that slow you guys down at all. So
yeah.
And you found a way to make it work. I mean, looking back, almost a year and over a year now into this, and, hopefully it's a little bit smoother and better, and some of those initial kinks are worked out a little bit better than they were.
I don't think realtors went back to doing it the old way since they knew the other way. So I kid you not. You're right, Allison. That definitely was a game changer.
Did you see a big uptick, when COVID first hit, with everything switching to virtual and that kind of stuff? Did you see those calls increase?
Oh, they increased a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I think what I did see, more people were willing to allow members to come on their computer, only because now they didn't have a technician behind them to show them what I was referring to. And that's another thing for you realtors, okay? If you're calling and someone sends you instructions, a lot of times you don't know what the instructions mean. Call us and we can come on the computer and we can go through the instructions together and we'll finish it and fix it for you. So just keep that in the back of your head, okay? Even though that someone sends you, especially with COVID, members are quick to send, or companies send emails saying, hey, try these steps, Allison or Carrie, and see if it works. And they don't know the steps. Like if my mom told me or my dad told me to fix something on the car, I wouldn't know where to start. If it's not a key or tires, I'm not sure. So same as when it comes to computers. So definitely, if you get instructions, call us and we can walk you through those and set it up for you.
It was really interesting, Allison, a little bit more on that, to see how important Tech Helpline was through 2020 for so many realtors. I mean, just like Alex said, we had to find a way to help mitigate all of these roadblocks so realtors could just keep doing what they do. And, I think we're all really grateful that our industry has really actually thrived through, the pandemic, thankfully. So many other industries like hospitality, took such a huge hit. But I know for us in Florida and our members, they really, really thrived and continued to do business. And lots of people still bought houses in 2020. The market was really going strong. So it was really interesting to see members calling for the first time that maybe never thought to call Tech Helpline before. And now they're repeat callers because they're like, wow, this is really an awesome, group of people that I can talk to about a range of issues. Now they're calling us when it's not an emergency. Now they're just calling us when they want to improve technologically. And, if you're a realtor, you have to do what your clients are doing. And so if you have a really tech savvy client, that you're trying to sell to, you got to meet them at their level, and our team can definitely help you get there. So you look like the pro to your client. And I think that's something that's really important as well.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so glad you mentioned that too, that like this really can go beyond just I have a problem and I need help solving it. We can elevate you to the next level, both professionally and personally, it sounds like. So
absolutely.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Yeah, thank you for that. Well, so many benefits to this. I'm so glad we had you guys on because I learned so much more than what I think I initially had in my head of what the Tech Helpline is. So I'm sure our realtors out there hopefully will feel the same. And, you guys are going to be busy. I'm sure we're going to be sending our members your way. And the hours are awesome too. I mean, you guys are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 8 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 5. So, I mean, so many opportunities for our members, really flexible and great hours there with you guys.
And if something pops up after hours, you can still reach us. You can email us or call and leave a voicemail, and then we'll just get back to you. So.
Awesome. And you guys both have been great. And Alex, you sound awesome. I'm like, I want you to help me figure out all my computer issues. You sound like you really care about our members and you're working hard.
Oh, that's another thing with school. A lot of kids are doing remote schooling. So now that's actually something a lot of members call and say, hey, my son is trying to get on this particular program. So we help with that as well.
Members, there is no end. If you have any bit of issues technologically at all, call the Tech Helpline. I'm sure if they can't help you, they'll guide you in the right direction to where we can help solve your problems. Well, thank you, both of you and Carrie, for joining me today. This was so helpful and so great to learn about. So thank you both for being here with me. To our listeners, thank you for listening, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you for listening to The Real View. That wraps up today's episode. You can keep up with the latest on the podcast at ohiorealtors.org/therealview and on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Have questions, comments, or suggestions? We want to hear from you. Email us at podcast@ohiorealtors.org. We'll see you next time.
This has been a Humble Pod production. Stay humble.